I see Argentina, Spain, and France above the rest. Those three teams, when I watch them week in and week out, this Spanish team, I know we talk a lot in football about not finding creative players, guys that don't beat their man. The Spanish team is the opposite of that. Every single player beats their man. Yamal, Nico Williams.
Yeah, they're good too.
Pedri.
Crazy.
I mean, they got players, and they're young. That's the thing.
Yep.
These players
They're
are
teenagers,
young.
and they already accomplished more than most players' career.
There's no fear. There is no fear from them.
Did you guys see what
What were we
Rafinha said?
What were we gonna?
Rafinha they're playing. Brazil's playing Argentina tomorrow, and there was like an interview, and Rafinha said, "We'll beat Argentina, no doubt, on and off the pitch. I will score a goal. We will f them." So
Rafinha said this before the game.
Rafinha said this for the upcoming game for Argentina, Brazil.
Jeez.
So if there's even more a reason to watch that, and Argentina just need a draw to qualify for the World Cup. Brazil still need a bunch
Pretty
of
easy
points
for them to qualify either way.
But
Brazil and
these
Argentina
games
will
are
be
always
fine.
crazy. By him saying that, I don't know what's gonna happen.
They got so many players.
It's insane.
No, what I was
Bolos.
going to say is that these young players, we should develop them in Serie C. In Serie C, they should be all, 18, 19-year-old players and all Italians. Let them grow there. And otherwise, where we're going to get? These young players, they need to play. They need to be creative. They need to know how
Make
to
mistakes.
dribble.
Daniel
Make
Maldini.
mistakes.
Come on.
Guys like him?
He's not ready for.
He should be in the
that's-
Serie C, like your dad said.
that-
One of the players
that's-
there.
that he's not ready
How
for
the
that
hell
level.
was Daniel Maldini started?
He's one of many that shouldn't have even got called up.
It drove me
Yeah.
crazy to see him to start,
I mean,
of all things.
He didn't make not even one good pass. He didn't do anything. And Spalletti at the end of he spoke. Oh yeah, Daniel was good in the first half. Yeah, he was coming back and get the ball. Come on, are you kidding me? That's where you want to start?
I guess this is how we start.
Oh, okay.
It's sad the youngsters that they talk about, that the Spanish team and Argentina and Brazil talk about, those are real youngsters. And then the Italian guys that are youngsters are different. What a weird international break we had with Italy and Germany. Of course, we're going to talk about Thiago Motta, but let's start with Italy and Germany. I feel like in both games, there were two different halves in both of them. The first game, which we lost 2-1, that was at home. By the way, Antonio and Peter can never go to an Italy game again. I feel like every time Antonio's gone somewhere, it never ends well.
They were present at the game, by the way, for the people that didn't know.
But we were really good in the first half. We're not able to deal with crosses and then
Set pieces.
The amount of, I think we conceded 10 goals. 9 of them have been from set pieces at this point, especially with the crosses in the box, which an Italian team historically should be so good at being able to do that. And then even in the second game, that was one of the worst first halves I've seen from Italy. Like embarrassingly bad. We were humiliated to be down 3-0. At least we get the reaction and we show some fight to come back, which I like. But why do we always have to wake up? We need 3 goals to wake up and show the quality that we have. And in the end, we only lose by 1 goal. So I'm honestly, I don't know where my head is at. I want to respect Germany and say, okay, they are a good team. We only lost by 1 goal. But then at the same time, it's annoying that we keep making the same mistakes like we're talking about with the formation.
So in the first half, I have never seen a team put such a high pressure on another team without, we could not get out of our own area. We did not pass the midfield. These guys were a high pressure games and we could not get out. But what did we do? We didn't do anything. We're still trying to start from the back and get over here and go there and lose the ball. And every time we got not even to midfield, we lost the ball. Hello, why can't you go? You got to go long and you got to go over everybody because that's the only way you're going to get to the other side of the field. It was embarrassing that we could not get out of the area. These are national team players. Uduji, come on, he's a national team player. Maldini is a national team player. These guys, they don't know, they get the ball.
Gatti.
Gatti, he was another one that could not. And the thing that worried me too is that 1-on-1, Buongiorno, he got beat. Let the guy, what are you doing?
Let the guy go through.
Let the guy go. You're going to get a penalty. Let the guy go. If he's going to take a shot, but it's a shot from the side. And then then we lose the ball in the midfield, and then they score, and then the corner kick, and they score. That corner kick, that does not happen.
Gosh.
That does not happen over 65. It does not happen at over 50. It doesn't happen at Bay 8.
That was bad.
Are you kidding me?
The only one I felt bad for was Donnarumma, honestly.
No, but he was at fault too.
He was the only one that was trying. I'm saying
We're talking about this corner kick.
I'm saying for the whole game in general. I feel
That's
like
unacceptable.
it was 1 against 11 at that point. The defense was making even Bastoni, who I think is very highly, was playing bad.
But on that goal,
that's
I mean,
Donnarumma needs
you
to.
cannot. There's not even 1, 2, 3, 4. There was 7.
Yeah.
I think it was 7. I count 7 or 8. They
That
were
weren't
all
paying
talking to
attention.
each other, and there's a corner kick.
They weren't paying attention.
And the fact that Spalletti says, "Oh, we knew they take quick corner kicks, yet somehow we still conceded it." So they worked on it in training. They said, "All right, be careful that they take quick corner kicks." Yeah, you still concede
It
the
would have
goal.
been better if he didn't say that, because it's like, what are they doing at training
He
at
said
this point?
he said we need to learn our lesson. There's a lot of takeaways. There's some good, like I was mentioning before, especially in that first half of the first match, where I said, okay, we got a team that likes to play with the ball. I thought Sandro Tonali was very good in that first match. I think that he showed his importance. Barella ran for 120 minutes. He fought for his life. But I think also when we're missing key players, you're missing Di Marco on that left side. You're missing Retegui. You're missing Chiesa. You're missing too many guys that are not in the right form. Calafiori as well. When he goes down injured, you miss that player in the back line. I think that you start to see the weaknesses of this team. I just don't like when we're naive and when we concede goals in a way that we shouldn't. Because, of course, it's not the most talented Italian generation of all time. We should be better at not conceding goals in the air. Those sort of things should be the things that you can control. And it's unfortunate that you're not able to control that. And then my other gripe is with Spalletti, who I think can bring a lot of good things to the national team. I like his ideas. I like that he's not scared to play. I like his philosophy at times, that he wants a beautiful team. I think it's where football is. But I think that sometimes his reliance on certain players, and I have to do this, and I'm not going to call certain guys, doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's a big problem, especially in a national team. You got to call the guys that are in form. You got to call the guys that show you that they're performing week in and week out. Another one we could mention is Orsolini. How is Orsolini not even at least called up to bring you that bit of speed, to bring you, to be dynamic? And you can't say, oh, I'm only going on form when you have Maldini. Again, I feel bad picking on Maldini, but when I saw him play, for me, he was so out of the quality of the rest of the players.
I mean, if you're going to call up players that don't really play, might as well call up Chiesa, who's actually, we know the quality of this. But regardless of all these selections, because I do feel like, even on our last podcast, we're talking about how a lot of these guys shouldn't really be called up. They're not Azzurri quality at the end of the day. Yeah, we can talk about injuries and whatever the case is, but there's a lot of names on there that, whatever you can say, could call up but shouldn't be starting.
Even Villanova.
Zappacosta should have got the call. I don't know. I think
yeah.
Zappacosta is a great utility player also, and he's doing fantastic at Atalanta.
Only Hakimi and Grimaldo are the wingbacks that have more goals and assists this season than Zappacosta. Again, Zappacosta, I would not think that I'm sitting here talking about this a couple months ago, but things change, form changes, and
you got to go with whoever is playing. You cannot have 10 players on the national team. They don't even start for their team. Okay, and then what I'm worried about is the midfield. I mean, we could not get out. We could not get out of our own midfield, and that's where the midfield comes from. They have to be the one getting the ball and get the ball. I remember Pirlo. He would not lose a ball. You give the ball to Pirlo, he's not going to lose it.
But you're holding them to a high standard. You're talking about one of the best
but
midfielders
those are
of all
the players
time.
that the midfield is scary.
I was disappointed in
Not
Rovella.
in a good way.
Rovella, who does really well with Lazio when he was with the national. Even Ricci, I expected him to be more calm and bring that.
Ricci
I didn't
not
see
ready.
it.
A game against Germany in that position is not ready.
So, are we holding Italy to the level of, because Germany is one of the best teams in the world. They are. I was not impressed necessarily with how they played at times, but they are one of the better teams that we would face. So are we holding to expectation of this is still a group that we can't compete with the best?
I mean, Germany, listen, I don't want to take anything from Germany. They are a top team. But at the end of the day, the way Italy concede, you can concede great goals, whatever, against a top team. But when you're conceding elementary style goals, cheap goals, aerial goals,
let them beat you by being good.
Score from an amazing 1-2, a little pass, outside, something, but not from a corner kick. Not when 10-year players are communicating and they score a goal. Not from a corner, not from a cross that you shouldn't be beat at. Get beat the right way, not the way that, Gaetano, like you were saying, this wouldn't happen over 50, over whatever the case is. Not like that. And look how close the score was at the end of the day. Look how close it was.
What a shame. What a shame that we have to concede 3 goals.
It was so close, yet so far. But it makes you think these small little details that a lot of people look past make a huge difference. Because if 1-2 of those goals, maybe if a penalty they didn't overturn, which I thought it was a penalty, was granted, this would have been this could have been an extra time, and who knows what would have happened from there. So I think there's a lot more that it comes to it.
I like the reaction of the second half, but
for sure.
Germany stopped playing in the second half. I mean, they were winning 3-0.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
They put their foot off the gas.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes,
but we also gave them the first half too. It was, it was even in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see where it goes. Now we have the World Cup qualifying to look forward to, or really struggle in. I'll read the group.
June 6th.
Yeah, it's in June. It's going to start in June.
Against Norway.
Norway, Israel, Estonia, and Moldova. The top team will automatically qualify, and the second place goes into a playoff, which
There's another team.
I think I mentioned everybody. Norway, Israel, Estonia, Moldova, and us, and Italy.
Okay.
So there's 5 teams. If we're going to a playoff, we already lost. I'm just going to say that right now. So you have to top this group.
The top team goes through.
Top team is through.
And then the second team?
It's going to go like last time. It goes through playoffs, through teams. It's going to be finals till one.
Norway, they already had played their game, so our first match will be against them, and obviously that's a direct matchup. Those are the games. You have to win.
Team.
You have to at least win one of them and tie the next. You can't lose one of those games. Erling Haaland, Odegaard, the good players there, but if we're talking realistically, Italy should be able to walk through this group. We should not be. I know we have past trauma. We were also in a group with Spain one time, and then the Switzerland game, which we also threw away. But Switzerland is a team that has knocked out a lot of big. I mean, they knocked us out even of the last Euros. They have quality. This is a different group. This should be one that we're able to cakewalk through. I saw Spalletti talk also after the match about Acerbi, because there's kind of the joke that Acerbi always pockets Haaland. And they asked him, are you going to call up Acerbi? And he downplayed it, saying, do you know how old he is? We have other guys that are in that position. And Mike brought up Acerbi for a while. Acerbi could go on to do an iconic season with Inter. Again, anytime he plays a big physical number 9, he dominates them. I never thought I'd be saying this because I disagreed with Mike at the time. But why not call him up in June? If he's still in the same form that he's been in, if he's healthy, it could come off of Inter winning, maybe a Champions League. Yeah. Why not bring him up for that time period? And I think my argument at the time was don't call him up because he's not going to be at the World Cup. But maybe we have to look at it and say, let's get there first.
The time is
and
now.
Then bring in the next guys. Yeah. Because you need that experience and you have to ride the wave.
I'd rather him than Gatti or Buongiorno playing. And he already has chemistry with Bastoni. Yes, he's older, but you got to get there first. Against Germany, I think he would have been a great help. He would have been like, I don't think he would have been over there with his experience. He played at Lazio.
I agree.
He's very
Do you remember the match Inter-Arsenal where Inter rotated 5 guys? It was like a cakewalk against Arsenal. And you could see that Arsenal had a lot of balls that they were whipping in. That's the only thing Arsenal could do. And Inter was very calm at that. They said, okay, no problem. Let them send balls in. They're not going to beat us like that. We have Acerbi, we got Bastoni, we got Pavard in the back. And Acerbi was like in heaven in that match. Look at the way Italy are conceding goals. We're conceding goals in that way. So maybe that's my point. You could start with one idea. And I'm fine if you have one idea of we need to build with all of these guys. I agree with you. But you also have to be able to interpret as a national team coach and select the guys that are in the best form and be able to adapt. So I want to see what he does change. I don't expect him to change, though, based on his recent comments. He's going to keep calling up the same guys that he's been calling up. I don't think he's going to be able to adapt to that situation. And I hope we just become a little bit more nifty. Even in the
Sharper.
end. Even in the end. You got Zaccagni on the bench. We're down 3-0. Make the subs a little bit earlier. Put him in. Lorenzo Luca comes in. We don't whip one cross into the box. I mean, how does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Well, he was going to bring in Rovella, and then he changed his mind and he brought in Raspadori, which as soon as Raspadori came in, he had the 1-2. That's where the goal came from. So it was a nice triangle that he had, and we scored. But going back to Acerbi, he's what, 36 years old?
Yeah. 37 maybe.
37?
Yeah. He's also center back.
That's crazy.
So you don't have to rely on his pace all the time.
Listen, if you need him for the game, you call him. I think right now the way we look right in the middle, the goals that we got it and against Germany, right from the. I think you might need him.
He's much better than Gatti.
He brings a grinta, like he reminds me of Chiellini with that. He's like the old school kind of defender. He doesn't mess around. He's physical when he needs to be. He screams at his teammates, and he brings the leadership that I feel like this Azzurri team is lacking, I think.
Again, just the ability to adapt. If you're playing Spain and they have a very fast front three,
of course.
Maybe Acerbi might not be the best option.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you play against a Germany team that's very physical, that like to whip balls in the box.
That's Acerbi's game.
That could be the moment that you throw him in. So it's not to say that you have to be a nailed-on starter all the time, but put him within the roster.
Have options for
but
that.
If he has a Haaland's number,
exactly,
hey, put him there. You know, he did it already a couple of times, so why not?
And it wasn't by chance. He's a good player.
Yeah. So do we feel, if there was a meter of how optimistic we feel about the national team after this Nations League, where would it go for you? Are you feeling optimistic because of we were missing players, yet we still showed some fight. We came back in the second half. We've got Retegui who's scoring a lot of goals in the Serie A, but now we also have Moiskin who's translating it. He at least scored 2 goals in this match. Maybe the striker is not the problem that we have anymore. Do you feel more optimistic after watching this, or are you still left with those same questions?
No, I'm not optimistic after what I saw. The only thing that I liked from this team is Moiskin. The kid, he tried very hard. He was down 3-0. He never gave up. He was looking for the goal. He was coming back. He was putting pressure. Then the rest of the team, to tell you the truth, there was nothing else that impressed me. This national team, to me, right now, from what I saw, I see Donnarumma that is a high level. Barella, which I'm not going by what happened in these 2 games, but I'm going what the kind of player that Barella could be. I think he is really a good player. And I was expecting a lot more from Bastoni. I was disappointed in the first game because that goal, I think if you look both goals, he lost his man.
Fault. No, he was at fault.
Both goals he lost his man.
You're right.
And then you got Keane, which he was a nice surprise, and I think that he can do very well. But the other players, I don't know.
Would you keep Spalletti?
These other players.
Jeez.
There's some people talking about it.
Rolling heads already.
I mean, at halftime, I saw people calling for his head, saying he's got to get sacked.
I mean, if the game would have finished 3-0.
If the game finished 3-0 to Germany,
that could have been bad.
That's bad. That's really bad.
That would have been really bad. I don't know. Sometimes he's like this. He goes back and forth. He talks to himself. He takes things from his pocket. He's kissing things.
You sound like Antonio now, making fun of the coaches on the sideline.
I don't know. The way he talks, his conferences, the way he talks, the question. Yeah.
You're just making fun of everything.
I do agree with the press conferences. Yeah. The way that he speaks really bothers me. It's like he's the genius. He's so smart. Nobody else can give an input. It's like, come on.
I think we're overreacting. Listen, half the team wasn't there. The defense, up until one, wasn't there. The best player wasn't there. Retegui wasn't there. That wouldn't happen. And
Who's
they
the
came
player?
back with a fight.
Who's the best player that wasn't there?
Yeah,
but we can't call him best player now.
I forgot. Sorry, I forgot Tonali.
What do you mean?
Tonali was very good.
Tonali was very good. And the first game was, and I think he belongs at that level.
But
nobody else does.
But the fight we saw too was very good. I think we're overreacting. The fight that we saw that came back without half their team, I thought it was very promising against Germany. And let's be honest, Germany are in a much better atmosphere than Italy. They're just more ready right now. And the fight back showed me a lot. I took some of it with a grain of salt. Half the team wasn't there. I still stick by that. I'm optimistic.
I'll give the guys that I like. Donnarumma, I agree with you on that. Donnarumma, Bastoni, Calafiori, Tonali, Barella, and then
Retegui.
And then when Di Marco,
Chiesa.
Retegui, and Keane are there, so we have a core, a couple.
They're all
core
missing.
guys.
But that's what I'm saying. They're all missing.
But the problem is we also have a lot of weaknesses. There's not a lot of speed within this squad. We're still missing that 10. Even on the wing back, Politano. Okay, yes, Politano did well at times. He brought that bit of pace, but is Politano always gonna add that to you when Bellanova hasn't showed up? When DiMarco's not there, Udogi's a massive drop-off. Those details, they matter. Those details matter. And I don't know if we have it in that sense.
I agree. I disagree with you on one player, and he has to show it to me.
Calafiori?
Calafiori.
Come on. He was good.
What? The first game, when
First half, he was good.
When the ball came into he was playing, it was all the way up.
I'm not saying he's perfect.
I mean, if you're playing with 3 in the back, you got to be inside the area. Hey, you are 6 foot, what is it, 6'3", whatever it is.
But he also doesn't play that in Arsenal, too, so it's very difficult to transition.
That's his position. That's his position.
I get it, but if you're going back and forth, it's not easy to adapt.
I mean, I saw him at right wing, I saw him at right full back, I saw him at left wing, and I saw him at left full back.
He's a center back and a back 3.
Right. But when the goal came in, he was nowhere in the area. Hello?
English.
Listen again, but we can make that argument about Bastoni as well. Yeah. We can make that argument.
I said I was disappointed.
But these are the guys that I see.
Bastoni to me is at that level.
Yeah. It was just bad games.
For me either way. I'm not saying that they were perfect in those moments, but what I'm saying is those are the guys that I will build on. Those are the guys that I see the quality that they could get to the top level.
In Euro, Calafiori he played great. So go back, let Spalletti talk to him, make sure he plays in the right position.
Calafiori and Bastoni, they're so important because of the build-up play that we have. They're calm on the ball. They're modern defenders. Even the switch that Bastoni has all the way out to Barella, which then Politano overlaps, those are important in the way that Spalletti wants to play. Calafiori is absolutely crucial.
If Italy had the full team, they were playing a B team against Germany.
Germany was missing guys. Germany was missing players as well.
Whatever the case was. Italy would have went through. I'm pretty confident Italy would have went through. With that fight, they got that close with their B team.
But that's football. I don't like that we put our head down. How can you start a game away from home like that? And then there's no attitude. There's no willingness to be a little bit different or to play the ball long over the top. You know, there's a moment you have a game plan, but then throughout a match, the game can change. And I feel like we lose that ability within the squad.
But then again...
And that's a huge drop-off.
It's a huge drop-off, but you still don't have the same players. You're not playing the full strength of Italy.
That's football today. With all the games that we have, the best teams are the ones that find solutions. Real Madrid last year went on and won the Champions League. They were missing half the guys in the defense. You got to be able to find solutions.
These are national team players. These are the best players that Italy can offer. But like I said before, I don't like sometimes when Spalletti makes the decision to call some players when they're not even playing in their team. Maldini. You can call somebody up if you're not a starter in your team, and you're supposed to be the best player in
There's some
Italy.
Exceptions, but for the most part, I agree.
Of course,
it should be based on meritocracy. That's why Cherby should have been starting, let alone get called up. And a few other cases, but like I said, I put an asterisk for this international break.
Like you said, Zappacosta, which I was thinking about, he's having a great.
Yeah, I would have called him
the guy is scoring goals, he assists, he goes up and down, he's playing.
It's good to call up the youth. It's good to call up the youth, but you got to know when to plug them in. You can't just throw them there and just hope it gels, especially against a world-class team like Germany. You're gonna get bit in the ass. Things like that happen.
So we'll see where we go from there. Qualify for the World Cup. That's all I got to say. June, I don't care who's playing. I don't care if it's Zappacosta. I don't care who it is. Even if we have our cheat team, you should be able to top this group. There's no more excuses, and I just want that character to be on display. Show me that you are hungry enough to win no matter who you're missing. When you play Germany, you play Spain, you play France. Okay, I could start to rationalize. But we've been through this case before. We've been through this where we don't take the early games as serious as we should. You tie, you lose.
And then you're scrambling.
And then you start scrambling for points. And then what happens? You miss a penalty in an important moment. All these things that happen, which happened against Switzerland. So those are things we need to iron out. We got to talk about Thiago Motta because Thiago Motta was sacked. Before we get into that, we have our hats and jackets available. Mike, you said there's very limited.
The jackets, I think there's only 3 sizes left between the 2 colors. So it's probably, check it out now because it's probably going to be sold out within the next day or so.
Hurry up, guys, because otherwise I'll buy all of them.
Yeah, we really added to our quantities on the last drop. So we've been able to promote them for a long time. But if you want to get them now. We got new products that are going to be released very soon.
And we got the hats.
The hats as well. We got 3 different colors, all available on our website, ItalianFootballTV.com. So go and grab that and stay tuned on our Instagram for what we have coming next.
You have any blue ones?
You're wearing it.
That's it?
I got to check this out.
You know, this is a great gift, by the way.
Is.
You know, even because I have one. But people ask me,
where'd you get that from, right?
ItalianFootballTV.com. Tell them to go there, see if we have your size.
No, this will make a great gift.
Yeah, I agree.
Tell the people.
Nice.
Let's talk about Thiago Motta. Did not expect this to happen on the weekend. Thiago Motta is officially sacked from Juventus. The announcement just came on Sunday. And we talked a lot about if he was going to stay, if it's the right move, if it's not the right move. They bring in Igor Tudor, who won for Juventus. He knows this club. He was assistant coach for Juventus under Andrea Pirlo just a few seasons ago. He had a lot of experience coming into teams and giving that immediate injection of life. He drove 10 hours from Split, Croatia to be able to get there. So no private jets, none of that. You could tell that his heart is in the right place. He wants to coach his team. Before we get to Tudor, which I think that this is the right move, I'll throw it out there right now. I think he is the right choice for the situation with the 4-month contract, with how little he's going to be paid, and then the option if he does qualify for the Champions League. Let's take the Thiago Motta side first. Mike, you were big on saying that you should not sack Thiago Motta. Yeah. The last 2 games, they lost 7-0. Yeah. Fiorentina, Atalanta, no reaction. The squad basically playing against him. Would you have sacked Thiago Motta? Do you think that this is the right decision or is it the wrong decision?
I think this just solidifies my ideology where I keep saying the Serie A is so cutthroat. They don't give you a minute to really coach or make mistakes, especially a coach like Motta who's trying to, first time he's at a big team, trying to revolutionize, trying to change Juventus. And it's a shame to think that you can't even, whatever. He had bad results. I'm not saying that, but a coach like that, I think you need a minimum of 1 season to really judge his kind of football. And it's a shame to see that because I hate seeing things like that. We could have done the same with other coaches, and they ended up panning out well. Like Simone Inzaghi at Inter, he didn't start off great. And now he's one of the best coaches in the world. So it really is a shame. I would have kept him, honestly.
So let me tell you why I don't agree in that sense. 90, 95, 99% of times, I think I sat here all year saying you got to give Thiago Motta a second season. I fully believe in seeing out projects and that you're not gonna be able to see some things early on. But I think that this was the case of they were forced to move on. My one asterisk always with seeing out a project is you can't lose the locker room. Once you lose the locker room, it's done. It's too hard to come back from that. Simone Inzaghi, in your case, never lost the locker room. He had the leaders on his side. And I think what's more telling is silence. Who has come out and even said goodbye to Thiago Motta? One player, Mbangula, who was promoted from the Chi team to the A team. Nobody else. He isolated Dusan Vlahovic. He isolated the former captain Danilo. Everyone else has not lived up or even reacted to Thiago Motta's team. So while I will say that Thiago Motta is by far not the only problem here, I think Thiago Motta will go on to have a very successful career. I think we will still be talking about Thiago Motta. He was not put in the best situation, but he did have to go. So both of those things can be true. And it's sad. There should be other guys that are more culpable, like Giuntoli. Giuntoli should be sacked first.
He's a scapegoat. Which
could still be happening by the end of the season, but do you think Thiago Motta should have been sacked?
At this point, right after the Fiorentina game, I thought maybe there was not enough time to get another coach. And since Tudor had refused before to do it for a few months, I said, that's it, let him stay. And but something happened after the game for Fiorentina because Giuntoli came and said, we confirm our coach. And then a couple of days went by. So something happened in between that. Yeah. So he did not only lose it on the field, but he lost it with management too. So I don't know if he told them off or if Giuntoli told them off. And then the way he reacted, and he says, okay, then you're out of here.
Gazzetta says that Giuntoli told Thiago Motta, I'm ashamed to have even chosen you as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't read that, but to me it's common sense that something happened afterwards. But like you said, Motta is a scapegoat because it all starts from the top, and I even think it starts for even higher than Giuntoli.
Like who?
Elkan, definitely, because Elkan is the guy that he wanted Giuntoli, and then Giuntoli wanted Motta. And the team was never built. The team was never built with the intention, somebody that loves the team and loves to have a great team. It was built with numbers here and numbers there and this one and that one, and it didn't work out.
But the numbers are even terrible, Dad.
Yeah.
The numbers are terrible. You got Douglas Luiz that you paid, Cup Miners, that paid over 100 million for these combined, that their value is completely down.
Plummeted.
Vlahovic, 70 million. The guy can't even play, yet he's still the top goal scorer, by the way, in this Juventus side. Then you also gave away guys like Fagioli, Moise Kean for nothing. And then the biggest one, the player that's maybe the most talked about player, youngster in the world right now after Lamine Yamal, is Dean Huijsen. Real Madrid want Dean Huijsen. Yeah. You sold him for less than what you got Kelly for. So even that, and you pushed him out. He wanted to stay.
But you don't think that Elkan gave the okay for all of those things?
I think he trusted Giuntoli, and he said, all right, you've done it before. I bought you. I trust you.
Elkan gives the okay for everything. There's nothing that goes through without his knowledge.
Well, now they say that Giuntoli wanted Mancini, but Elkan said, no, we're not doing that, which I absolutely agree with. I don't think Roberto Mancini, credit for everything he did for the Italian national team, Mancini made no sense for Juventus. You're going to get a guy that needs to be confirmed until next year as well. The immediate impact of Mancini, the style of play, for me, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. No. Tudor's a much better option than Mancini. But there's still guys at the top that I think need to pay. And there's a lack of Juventus within the organization. This we've known for a long time. And what you just said about the scapegoat, Juventus just keep going. It's like a merry-go-round of finding the same problem. They're kind of like what Manchester United are doing in a lot of ways, where it's always one guy is going to save us. Oh, this thing is going to fix us. I remember when Allegri was a problem, and then Sarri was a problem, even though he won, and then Pirlo was a problem, and then Allegri is a problem again, and Thiago Motta now is the problem. And while some of those might not have been the solution going forward, they certainly were not the only problem at the club.
Something is going up there, and I don't like it. I don't know anything about Ferrari. I don't follow. I don't know anything. But I heard that what happened in China has never happened in the history of racing.
They were disqualified based on the weight.
You disqualified both cars. Come on, something is going on. And to me, when something like that goes on, it comes from the top.
All because Vlahovic didn't start.
Why?
All the roads lead back to Vlahovic not playing at Juventus.
What do you mean?
That's why Ferrari, the disqualifications all started from there.
So let's take Tudor for example, and the reason why I think he was the absolute best option for this team. Juventus need to qualify for Champions League. Tudor, what he did last year with Lazio was sensational. He joined them in March. From the time he joined Lazio to the end of the season, only Atalanta picked up more points in that time frame, even when he joined Hellas Verona at the time, where he made Hellas Verona finish in 9th place. And their trio was all in double-digit goals. Barak, Caprari, and Simeone. They all had better goal scorer seasons than they've ever had before. Verona was scoring goals for fun. He joined them 4 games into the season. I think he took over for Di Francesco. So he's able to get this immediate injection of life. Even at Marseille, his style is if you don't run, you don't play. I think that that's what this team needs. They need that enforcer. They need somebody who understands the club, who is obsessed with winning, which part of the reason why I think Thiago Motta was not the solution as well, his communication was terrible. When you got the coach of Juventus, who I think somehow he didn't understand where he was. I think he still thought that he was at Spezia or Bologna. You come out and say you're not obsessed with winning. Oh, you media put us in a Scudetto battle that we were not really in. Even if you're not up to it, a Juventus should always think, oh, we could still fight for the title. They were worse Juventus teams. Antonio Conte's team in 2011, by that same philosophy, should not have believed that they were going to go on to win the Scudetto against Milan of Thiago Silva and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Because when you're at a club and you could taste it, you could see it, you should be able to have it. And now, if you go on, you don't be able to win. That's one thing. But you shouldn't come out and basically seem happy that the pressure no longer has to be on you. That's a problem. I think Tudor understands all of those things. He's no nonsense. And he's going to put Vlahovic back at the core, which I sat here a couple months ago and everybody got mad at me saying that you should still keep playing Vlahovic. Kolo Muani was scoring goals, blah, blah, blah. Vlahovic is the top goal scorer in this team right now. You look at Serie A, it's Wea Muani with 5 goals after him. He's the one that's got 9 goals. Tudor said 2 years ago in 2022, he's the best striker in Serie A, in all of Serie A when Osimhen was there. You need to at least raise the value. If in these 9 games Vlahovic starts scoring goals, his value that's at 35 million right now starts to go up. It helps the club. They got to get 4th place. So for all of these reasons, I think Tudor was the right option for Juventus.
I mean, listen, I like Tudor. I think he's a great coach. He brings instant results. But for me, it's just like Juve in general, they're foaming from the mouth. Oh, we got Thiago Motta. He's going to change everything. 6 months later, ciao, ciao. Like, will Tudor bring good results? Yeah. Will he revolutionize and really be the guy for Juventus? I don't know yet, but I'm a fan of him. In his past work, he's been great. I think they have a real chance now, Juve, to really cement that top 4 finish. But now it's that cycle again. If Tudor doesn't get the results, then they're going to look for a coach that's going to try to revolutionize and get someone for the future.
But I think that's the plan already, Mike. I think the plan is...
But Motta was supposed to be that, you know?
No, but you mentioned Tudor, but...
Yeah.
He knows that in the summer they're going to make a decision on what they got to do long term. If you have Roberto Mancini, for example, now that's what your long term solution is going to be. In the summer, while the Club World Cup's going on, they're going to try to see. They say that the dream signing is Antonio Conte or Gasperini or whoever it may be. And I do agree that you have to take time in the summer. You shouldn't make that decision right now. So that's why he's perfect for that, because he's also going to understand that, listen, I might not be the top guy. Who knows? Maybe he wins 9 games and he starts showing something. And then you say, okay, we could do this for another season because nobody else is available. I just think it is the right strategy. For once, I agree with it. And I think it could be very similar to what happened with Ranieri at Roma, where Ranieri really understood the club. He understood the values. He got that connection back with the fans, because right now you lost the fans. I've never seen Juventus fans walk out of a stadium before. And there's been times where this team has been really bad, and he's going to put players in their more natural positions without this tinkering and Cup Miners, you're sick. Oh, no, you're still going to play. Or, Thuram, even though you played well, no, you're going back to the bench.
He's just gonna be
stuff like that didn't make sense.
He's just going to be caretaking until the end of the season.
Which is fine.
Yeah, that's what it's doing. But that's why they got Motta, for not to be caretaking. That was what I'm trying to say. They brought Motta in to change the future for...
But he didn't do good enough.
That's why just
he didn't do good enough, though.
Forth. I mean, time will tell now.
Tudor knows Juventus because he was
sure.
there, so he knows the environment there. What Tudor has to do is he has to bring enthusiasm to these players. Yeah. He's got to get them, each one, and like you said, tell them, hey, but you know where you are? Because Motta apparently did not know where he was. Do you understand that you're a Juventus? You understand the shirt that you're wearing? Hey, Cup Miners, you became flop miners. I need you to become king miners. He's got to go to all the players. And like you said, Vlahovic, you are the best player. You are the best player for this team. You're the best center forward. And he has to go and work on that on each players. And if he can do that, and if he can transmit their enthusiasm, their winning, the grinta, I'll tell you, and I'll bet you that Juventus is going to win 3-0 against Genoa. That's for you.
That's a kind of... I would expect that too.
I mean, to be fair, Vietta's team
I'm giving you the score, and I'm giving you the game.
To be fair, Vietta's Genoa has been pretty good.
It doesn't matter.
They don't lose games.
It doesn't matter what good it's been. If
when you have Vlahovic.
if he can,
Kelly's on the other
the
side.
players that he has, if he can convince them and if he can put some enthusiasm and grinta, those players, they can beat. I'm telling you, they can beat Genoa.
The enthusiasm
3-0.
to beat Genoa all of a sudden now. It's
What?
crazy.
I mean, they couldn't
You
beat
need
they
that
couldn't beat
enthusiasm for
Empoli's Chi
Genoa.
team in the Coppa Italia.
Okay,
They
but-
couldn't beat PSV.
You got to
Why not?
But when
start.
they got a new coach, that's what usually happens. You get that boost.
It's a shame.
Right.
It's a shame that this wasn't done earlier. Obviously, looking back, it's easy to say.
Right.
The game against before Atalanta, before Fiorentina, even when the season still could have been saved in a way, or you still
But
had
he
a lot
still
to
has
play
got the
for.
time. He's got the time. If it starts winning on Sunday, he's got the time to do it.
All right. Anything else? Any other topics?
Oh, there was this funny thing going on. Going back to international football.
What?
I don't know if you guys saw. Turkey played Hungary.
I missed that game.
Why are you smiling?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, I thought
You
you
said
had
I
a
don't know if
joke.
you guys saw it.
I thought
like it was
a
Brazil, Argentina.
A play on a word. Oh, okay, whatever. It was to get promoted to League A, Nations League, and Turkey ended up winning by like 6 goals on both. Like they show no mercy. And Guler, Real Madrid's Guler, and Szoboszlai from Liverpool apparently had a little argument on the field, talking back and forth, whatever the case is. And there was a photo posted of them arguing. And on Instagram, Szoboszlai commented the number 1088, which is the amount of minutes Guler played for Real Madrid. Mind you, Guler's like 18 years old. Szoboszlai's like a decade older than him, regardless. And then Guler ended up responding, "This guy's a joke. 6 goals isn't enough to shut you up." And then Szoboszlai ended up responding, showing, "Guess whose heat map this is?" And it showed a heat map of red on the bench. Inferring that it was
Were they
Guler.
playing football or they were going back and forth?
I don't know, but this seemed more entertaining than the match.
They're just fighting on Instagram.
But it was pretty funny.
I like
the
it.
banter football is good. It makes you want to tune in more.
But Arda Guler is also a young player, and he's
That's
at Real
what I'm
Madrid.
saying.
You're making fun of the minutes that he played. The guy could go on and become such a
But
big player.
Liverpool beat Madrid, right?
Also,
If I'm
when
not
you lose,
mistaken?
yeah. No, Real Madrid won.
No.
Liverpool won.
Liverpool
Liverpool
right?
won.
Okay,
Also-
so maybe there was something there.
When you lose, after you lose,
Yeah, I know,
it doesn't
I
matter
know,
what you say.
I know.
You got to
And
just
they really
accept
lost.
it
They lost
and,
bad. They
and
lost
move
bad.
on.
All right. So what do we got coming up in Serie A this weekend?
All right, let me look.
We got, I think, Fiorentina, Atalanta, Juventus, Genoa. Any?
Napoli-
Fiorentina Atalanta is the biggest game, and Napoli Milan.
Napoli, Milan.
Napoli,
Sunday.
Napoli, Milan on Sunday.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's the match.
That's gonna
That's
gonna be a nice.
That should be
That's
good.
a nice game.
the game for Napoli. Neres is going to be back. They say Conte is going to go back to the 4-3-3,
Yeah.
which I think is the right case. And we'll see if Napoli are still in this
In
race.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's gonna be a big thing, especially for Conte. I feel like he has a break to breathe. He gets Neres back, and I'm excited to see. Because Milan also, they're also on the, I guess you can say, hot seat. Not like Napoli, obviously, different kind of hot seat. But that's gonna be a great game.
They still believe in the 4th place. I see the Milan fans thinking that it's going to be
tough.
possible.
It's tough.
I think it's really
Yeah,
hard.
I think it's out of stretch.
And it'll be over this weekend.
Well, yeah, we'll
if
see.
they don't,
We'll
they
see
have to
this
win.
weekend.
You have to win.
Yeah,
not
a
even
tie's
tie.
not enough.
And for Napoli, I think you don't have much room to slip up anymore. You don't have much room.
They're down 3 points.
This one has to be a win.
Yeah.
This one has to be
They
a
both
win.
need a win. If they
They do. They both need a
for
win.
their own sake.
I think a tie doesn't help anyone in this case.
It worsens it.
There's still time. And just a reminder, on Saturday night, they changed the time in Europe. So the
So go
game
back
on
to normal.
Sunday
Back to the
is
original
going to
times.
go to 2:45.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe. Go grab your merch on ItalianFootballTV.com. And we will be back with the full crew on our next podcast.
Ciao,
ragazzi.
guys.